So, Andy, the forum's just ended. The second in our series. We're doing this roving tour all around the valley, talking about AI, getting the conversation started. What did you think of this one here at South Texas College in McAllen?
Love the turnout. I want to thank STC because they opened the doors for us. It's important that we get these conversations out, especially in institutions, influential institutions in our region. So huge thanks to STC, wonderful turnout. And it was a great conversation with some credible people here in South Texas College.
So I was struck by Dr. Dickinson's really call to arms, a call to action that we have to, as a region, all the cities, all the leadership has to embrace this. If we're going to get the most out of AI, we've got to work regionally, we've got to cooperate on data centers. And then in the Q&A, the former mayor of McAllen, Jim Darling, said, yes, but how? He gave two examples of how the region has come together, the merging of the two universities and the merging of the three MPOs. And he said there, it was clearly defined. It was easy to see how by working together, there was going to be more money. So his question was to the panel, and you answered it, the others did as well, but what's the value proposition for all the cities and the leaders and the communities getting together on AI? How can you sell it that we will all benefit by working together?
Yeah, so the Rio Grande Valley, we got to look at it as one organization. Right now, we're a little bit divided, but I do feel that we're going to come together. At the end of the day, we're all going to benefit from the infrastructure that we build together. One of the good points that Mr. Campos brought up today was information exchange. You know, we can't hold this information from each other only because when we build the infrastructure and we build the data infrastructures, we're not going to hold data from each other. These data centers and infrastructures are going to hold the answers to the region's problems, not the city's problems. This is a regional effort to come together, and where we will benefit is where as soon as we start implementing AI in our organizations, in our businesses, it'll generate a revenue that we haven't seen. So it'll increase more jobs, it'll increase revenue, and that tax revenue is going to be directly implemented into our region when we're talking about roads, safer neighborhoods, better policing. Our police departments won't have as much strain. They'll have more resources. Our fire departments will have more resources. Our education systems, our public universities will have more resources. This is all revenue that will benefit the region, and we will all see it through the tax sales revenue that is directly funneled in.
So you're saying that as we do this tour, the Rio Grande Guardian, allied consultants, we go on this tour, we engage with leaders in different communities. You're saying that if the Valley puts on a united front and sets up a council with every community represented, that by working together, there's going to be a financial benefit, because that's what clearly Mayor Darling was alluding to, that people, the Friday night football mentality down here, historically, it doesn't happen. Everyone sort of fights for the scraps, but they saw with the university and they saw it with the MPO that there was clearly a financial benefit by working together. Your argument is that with AI, we must do the same, and clearly there'll be a financial reward for doing so.
100%. AI, when it comes to businesses and it translates to a region, it does two things. It cuts costs and it increases revenue, bottom line. So it will do the same for our region. It will find waste. It will find bloated organizations. It will find bloated areas where we're wasting too much, whether it's resources, time, effort. We'll cut the effort, and then we'll increase the revenue. That revenue would directly be turned back, and it will be funneled in to our community, right? It will be an ecosystem that we build locally. So cut costs, increase revenue, and use that revenue to build and improve our infrastructure here in the Rio Grande Valley.
So what if, as a result of those cost-cutting initiatives, these companies, these cities become more efficient, but you've also displaced workers? What do those workers do?
Yeah, so one thing that we vouch for is not eliminating jobs. One thing that AI will do is will eliminate tasks. But these people in large organizations, especially organizations that have hundreds or thousands of employees, They simply need to be reorganize their operations, right? There's people, and we talked about it here today, take an organization that has 100 employees and you have 20 that are just doing administrative tasks, over repetitive tasks. We take those 20, instead of firing them, we put them somewhere where they can join the purpose of the organization, right? Join the mission of that organization. So it's not about firing people. It's about replacing them in areas where they could provide value to the organization.
If you're coming from the business perspective, what can Allied do? What can AI do to improve efficiencies for businesses?
Yeah, so what we do, we take a lot of pride on here, especially in the Rio Grande Valley, is we help businesses that are at zero, basically, right? A lot of times there's a misconception that you already have to have data in place or you already have to have the infrastructure. That's not true. What we do at Allied is we guide clients from zero all the way through. So a company or a business can not have any data, not have infrastructure. We come in and we begin implementing the data governance, start putting the people in place, start putting the processes in place so that that company and that organization can begin gathering data. Once they have the infrastructure and they're gathering relevant data, we can help them make better decisions, create decision support workflows, and then that feeds into the AI. So the AI is kind of the output, but we help organizations build the foundation, build an infrastructure so they can start finding solutions through the data. A huge responsibility that we feel at Allied is helping underserved communities, underserved organizations, and small businesses. You do not have to have a big budget. You do not have to have a huge infrastructure in place. We will work with small businesses and even nonprofits and help them catch up. Right now, we're a little bit behind, but it's not too late. We are definitely in a space where we can help organizations implement processes, implement this infrastructure so that they could make sure that they are competitive in their respective industry. But one thing that we do, me being a Valley native and me being basically raised my entire life here in the Rio Grande Valley, is I've always looked out for the small businesses and nonprofits and the people who are, basically directly impacting the community. Small businesses run our economy. The big boys they do what they do, but at the end of the day, small business is what keeps the wheels turning, and our doors are always open, no matter what phase of the data journey you're in. Whether you have an infrastructure or whether you have no data, we're always welcome. We're always ready to help in any way that we can. And like I said, we are ready to help any business from zero to the final output. So it doesn't matter what phase you're in business. Allied always has its doors open, and we're always looking to help. Huge thank you again to SCC for opening the doors, and a huge thank you to Campos and Dickinson for participating. It's very important that leaders come together and be the voice. There's no one to come and do it for us. We got to come out here and do the dirty work and shake hands and meet people and have conversations. And these conversations will eventually lead to solutions.
Thank you so much for today's interview.
Thanks, Steve. Thanks.